Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. We are going to be starting my week 3 Newts reading vlog. Now tomorrow I start off the day, working the first 4 to 5 hours of my morning. Kind of depends on how busy I am at work. I won't be able to check in with you, so I'm actually starting this vlog Sunday night. Nothing special. I'm just going to kind of run through what prompts I still need to accomplish in Newts, what books I'm currently reading, and then I'll let the rest of the video be in the actual week where I'm vlogging. I still need to read 6 books to get my career in Newts. That's gonna be kind of interesting. I have 2 weeks. Let's see if I can do it. In a normal week, I wouldn't be nervous at all, but if you haven't watched any of my previous vlogs, I'm moving. Life is a little bit more difficult right now. So I need to read a hardcover book, a book where the author's last name starts with a B, a nonfiction. That's the one I'm most afraid of. A book with 260 to 299 pages, a manga, and a horror thriller. What am I currently reading? Actually, really quickly, let me just say, last week I had a really rough time with Tome Topple. I apologize for everything that went down. Mental health came first though, so I am no longer doing it. Apologies, but the rest of this month is just going to be Newts. I am excited though because next month I am going to be taking part in Bookopoly-a-thon, and I filmed the TBR video for that today, and I'm so thrilled. So, what books am I currently reading? I am listening to Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd time I have read this book. I am loving this book. I have always loved this book. I don't think I'm actually at that chapter right now. I am approximately at chapter 23, so I'm like not halfway yet. I only have 15 hours left in the audiobook, so if I'm able to sit down and actually do a lot of reading tomorrow, I might be able to finish the book. I listen on times 2 speed, and honestly I could be going faster with this book, but I'm not because I'm enjoying myself. So the other book that I am reading is, I don't have it up right now, The Bone Shard Daughter. I actually got this arc on NetGalley last week, and I'm so thrilled about it. I'm like so excited. I am actually in chapter 3 or 4. I think I'm in chapter 4 now, and it's good. I'm not hooked yet, but I just started, so like not expecting myself to be hooked, honestly. After Warbreaker, my audiobook is going to be Misery by Stephen King. Excited about that one. And then after Bone Shard Daughter, I'm going to be reading Children of Virtue and Vengeance. Guess who only gave you half of the updates I was supposed to give you last night? Me. 2 things else I was supposed to tell you yesterday evening and completely forgot to do because now it's Monday morning. Welcome to the real part of the vlog. Hi, thank you. Yeah, I DNF'd 100,000 Kingdoms. I think that I'm not DNFing it forever. I think I will give this book a second shot in the future, but I wasn't enjoying it. I had no motivation to read it. The one chapter that I got stuck on, I like tried to read 3 or 4 times and I was just like, ooh, not feeling it. But I hadn't felt that horrible about the rest of the book, and I think that my biggest issue is I just don't have the time right now to read, and I had I had arcs that were due and it was just a mess, so I decided to DNF it. I talked to my book club. They're still reading it. I feel horrible, but it's for the best. Second, which way more exciting, I got approval on NetGalley for the audiobook arc of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I love his Inheritance series. I love Aragon. It's a really good book series. So I was so thrilled to see that I got approved for this because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to actually read the physical book because it's so long if I got approved for that arc. So to get approved for the audiobook is perfect. It's like 32 hours on the audiobook. That's gonna be fun. I will be making a video for it, so I won't keep you guys updated too much in vlogs about that book, but I'll let you know if I start it and when I start it and how much I'm able to read of it each day. I wasn't able to listen to any of Warbreaker while I was working because I'm learning new tasks at work right now, and you just can't. I'm constantly communicating with other people on like, hey, how do I do this again? I'm not finishing Warbreaker today. Plus, I got a text message from my roommate and she got a tour of our actual place that we are going to be moving into. They couldn't give us a tour of the same model, so today we are going to have a tour of the actual location, and I will try to get some footage of that for you all. So I just read the short story Juice Like Wounds by Shannon McGuire, which is the novella that accompanies In an Absent Dream, which is part of the Wayward Children series. In an Absent Dream is my absolute favorite book in that series. I think it's the only one I rated a 5-star, and I think it might be the only one I rated above a 4-star. So when I saw that it had a short story and that Tor was allowing you to read it online for free, I was like, sign me up. I'm not a fan of short stories. I basically had decided that if I disliked this one, I was just never going to try short stories again. But unfortunately, I loved this. I rated it 4.5 stars. If you've read In an Absent Dream, it's very, very similar to that. It's just kind of a short story of Lundy in the Goblin Market, and it was fantastic. The only reason why it didn't get full 5 stars is because short stories plots like don't vibe with me. They're just so quick. But otherwise, it was so good and I loved it. Hey, this is gonna be a really short clip. I actually wasn't even gonna check in with you today because of what I'm about to say, but I decided I didn't want to talk about it again tomorrow. Last night, I was reading and my elderly dog, which is the only one we have, was starting to have some declining health issues. Me and my parents stayed up all night last night, the entire night, and in the morning decided that it would be best to put her down. That's what I've been dealing with today. It was peaceful. It was hard to do, but it was the right decision. She was 15 years old. We loved her so much. We still do, but she wasn't living anymore. I stayed home from work today because I had no sleep and I wanted to be here with her in her final hours. We're doing okay now. It's hard, but it's going. You know, you kind of don't have a choice. You just, most of the time things are fine, and then every once in a while something little sets you off again. I'll be fine eventually. But what this means is I am not gonna continue out with nudes this month. I just think it's way too much for me. I think anyone watching this video would understand. I know it's the last nudes out there and I'm kind of disappointed that I don't get to experience it, but I need to worry about my mental health before I worry about that. I am still going to be reading. I'm still going to be reading a ton this month. I'm just not going to focus on reading for categories. Where I'm at right now, I'm actually at 40% through Warbreaker and 40% through The Bone Shard Daughter. So I'm hoping to finish Warbreaker. I wanted to finish it yesterday, I wanted to finish it today. I'm gonna say I want to finish it tomorrow. I don't think that's gonna happen though. So hopefully I can finish it Thursday. Thank you for your condolences in advance. I know a lot of you probably won't know what to say. You don't need to say anything, but thank you if you do. I slept 10 hours last night and I had such a crazy dream. Like, so crazy. I have these dreams. Okay, first off, all of my dreams, I pretty much remember every single dream I have. Like, I can wake up every single morning and be like, here's what I dreamt. And most of my dreams are super long. Like, I remember hours worth of information and have a very defined plot, like a beginning, middle, end, and there's a climax, and then they resolve. There's developed characters, there's information, there's morals. Basically, every single night I go to sleep, I watch a movie that has never been made before, that my brain just decided, hey buddy, here's a movie for you. And I write them down quickly a lot of times. I haven't written this one down yet because I'm still going through it. I have this goal in life that right now I do not want to write a book. I don't want to do it. I have so much else going on in my life, and to learn that kind of skill, I'm just not ready to take that on. But I think that when I'm in my 30s, I'd really, really like to write a book. So I write these dreams down because I'd like to, when I'm 30, not have to face a blank Word document for too long. Last night was really cool because I had a dream that was about these 6 people who were competing in this. Basically, it was an obstacle course, but it was huge. and it wasn't, obstacle course makes me think that it was like small, but it was like the world was an obstacle course. That's not what I'm trying to get into. And it was all about leadership and how neither men or women should be in leadership, that no one should be leading other people, that all people are equal and all people bring great information and great resources to the table, and how power corrupts. And there was also this whole entire moral part about ableism and how that just because someone's in a wheelchair and they need help physically at one point doesn't mean they need help physically with another thing, and how we so easily ignore, when building the world, how easily we ignore people who aren't like us. It was really, really cool. I'll need to write it down later, which means I'll text my best friend about it, and I just save all the messages. Yeah, I haven't read anything because I fell asleep last night and slept 10 hours, which was awesome. I really needed it. So I'm gonna go to work now. I'm gonna try to listen to Warbreaker at work, but once again, I'm learning new things, so we'll see what happens. So we're back in the car again. I apologize. Well, I'm not really sorry. I was going to update you guys last night, but my grief seems to be coming in waves, and I don't necessarily want to show you guys the lows. I'm afraid they might be triggering for some people, and it's just not good content. But I don't want to be dishonest with you, so like, I'm going through a lot off screen, but I don't want to necessarily put it all on screen. When I'm good, I'm great, which is right now, but when I'm low, it's awful. But I did manage to read 40% more of Warbreaker last night, which put me up to the 80% mark, which is awesome because I'm gonna finish it today. I only have 2 hours left as of right now. That's on whatever time speed I'm listening to it on. I am also Skyping with a friend tomorrow, a friend from college, and me and her are both huge fans of Umbrella Academy, and we were going to talk about season 2 together, but I haven't watched any more since that one day last week's vlog where I watched 5 episodes in one. So I need to watch 3 to 4 episodes today, and then 1 to 2 episodes tomorrow before I Skype with her. Yeah, that's kind of my plan for today. Finish Warbreaker, watch Umbrella Academy. Guess who just got off of work and finished Warbreaker? Me. I did it. Finished Warbreaker. I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. This is the 3rd time I've read the book, and 100% this book is in my top 3 favorite books of all time. I love it so much. It's so good. I haven't compiled it yet because this is the first time I'm reading it, and I'm doing compile, so I'm gonna go home and do that, but I think it's gonna be damn close to a perfect 10. I'll let you guys know what I'm gonna be reading next. It'll be Misery, though, by Stephen King, so I don't even need to let you know. I'm gonna be starting Misery by Stephen King. I'm hoping to start it today, but I, more importantly, need to watch Umbrella Academy, so I'm gonna do that. I really hope you guys can't hear the music out in the living room because that would be a copyright issue. So today I decided to take off being an adult, basically. I've been working real hard for a long time now, and I basically haven't had a break since at least last month. So I decided, you know what, I can't take a full day off. That's just kind of unrealistic right now, but I could take a half a day off. And even in that half a day, honestly, I didn't get like the break that I wanted. I still had to do laundry. I folded some from my mom because she was working. I did my own laundry and folded it. Still need to put this stuff away. Other than like small tasks around the house, I did some other stuff too. It wasn't just 2 loads of laundry. I sat on the sofa, which you can't see, it's out of shot, and I watched Umbrella Academy, and I really, really enjoyed myself. I finished it. I'm happy that I finished it. I then went and plugged in Warbreaker into Compile because earlier I said I was going to. It only got not a 10 in one category, and that was enjoyment, and it totally deserves a 10 in that category, but I couldn't figure out where to put this complaint I had into any other category, so I gave it a 9.5 in enjoyment, and everything else I got a 10, and that complaint is just some of the language used to describe the women. I guess that could be put into writing. The writing everywhere else was really good. I don't know, it's really complicated. I don't totally understand it. I do know that the women were awesome. Like, the POVs that we had of women were great, but there were just some references throughout, specifically about women's breasts, that were just kind of like, But other than that, oh my god, I love the book. It's like my third favorite book of all time. Go read it. And plugged it into, I have a reading tracker for the year, so I have like a call pile, and then I have like a reading tracker, and then I also keep a monthly tracker. I have a lot of trackers, and they're all supposed to keep me accountable. And so I was looking through August's reading tracker, and because I've been so worried on fulfilling everything for Newts, which I'm no longer worried about, I realized that I have been not succeeding at reading diversely, and that makes me really frustrated with myself. The content matter in my books is diverse and has diverse characters, but when I look at the authors that I'm reading, almost every single one of them was a white author. I think when I looked at the list, I've read 10 books this month, and 2 of them were authors of color. And I really don't like that, and I'm not happy with that result. So besides Misery, which I am going to be starting today and finishing, which is by Stephen King, I decided that I'm going to let that be the last exception for this month, and every other book I read the rest of this month is going to be by an author of color. And I know that that doesn't make up for the fact that I've been basically failing. I don't want to say failing. Failing is such a bad word because I don't want to get into all of that. I haven't been keeping with the promises that I made myself. I know that now, like, starting again isn't like making up for it, but it's something that I want to do, and so I'm going to do it. I'm currently reading The Bone Shard Daughter, which is written by an Asian woman, and I apologize because right now I cannot remember where exactly she is from. Kavav, I guess is what you call it. Children of Virtue and Vengeance this month, which would be awesome because that's also by an author of color. And then I also want to read the book Kindred by Octavia Butler, and I also want to read the book Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. I'm also hoping to still get to Tomi by the end of the month. That is the manga that I said I was going to be reading. The only other book that is on my list of books I want to read this month is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which is not written by a person of color, so I am okay with pushing that off to a future month and finding a different audiobook to replace that one that has some better author representation, because it's something that's important to me, so I'm going to do it. Just wanted to come in and check in with you guys and kind of let you know how I'm doing, and to remind you all that sometimes we slip, and it's not so much about the messing up as it is about like noticing, having systems in place to allow yourself to notice that you've slipped and to reverse and try to get back on track as quickly as possible. I am still on my day off, so I'm gonna stop talking to you guys, go watch some booktube that got uploaded, have some dinner, and I think tonight I'm gonna take a bath and do some reading. Hopefully, if I lean out this window, I'll get a little bit more light. Welcome to Friday. It's the last day of this really bizarre vlog. It's the last day of this really bizarre vlog. I feel like the engine's really loud out here. Let's move back in the car. So I started Kindred this morning. I looked at the length of the audiobooks I was wanting to read the rest of this month, and I was like, well, I could do Kindred in one day, so I could do it for the vlog, and then I could do Misery Saturday and Sunday, so it wouldn't be part of a vlog, and then I could do Trail of Lightning, and I think I'm either gonna do Raybearer, Star Daughter, or The Killing Moon next week, just kind of depending on what I'm in the mood for. If you guys have a preference, comment down below and I will definitely take that into consideration. So those were the 3 audiobooks that I own that are written by authors of color that I had some interest in reading next week. That's why they're kind of up for options. Started Kindred, I'm about 30-ish minutes into it. I mean, I'm listening on a fast speed, so I don't know really how much I've listened to it. I'm enjoying it. I'm curious, I think would be the best emotion. There's not been a lot of explanation, and I really don't think we're going to get a lot of explanation for some of the time traveling things, which I'm fine with because I was a little nervous going into this book when it was marketed as sci-fi because I'm not a huge fan of sci-fi, but I think that this one will be good for me because it won't be so focused on the science elements of the book, and it'll be more focused on the human connection and the interpersonal relationships between Black people and white people. I think there's going to be some kind of metaphor for present day to past, but I don't totally know yet. I'm 30 minutes into the book. I'm going to listen to that on my way to work and then listen as much as I can at work because today's a busy day again, and then I'm going to listen to it on the way home and at home. I need to edit my thumbnail because I have a video that's coming out today and it's completely ready minus the thumbnail. I gotta go do that when I get home. So I just finished Kindred. I basically marathoned the book when I got home from work. I was only able to listen to maybe an hour at work. And then I got home and I was like, I really want to finish this. Really, really good. I'm actually putting it into my call pile while we speak, which is why I'm not looking at you at the moment. Apologies. It was a tough read, I have to say that for sure. Dark and hard to listen to, but so important and so good, and I felt like I couldn't put it down. So basically we're following this woman who lives in the 1970s, and she seems to be pulled into the past. She's a Black woman whenever this white boy is having a near-death experience, and she seems to think that it's her purpose to keep him alive and to protect him. And so she keeps getting pulled into the past and saving his life and watching him grow up. And he lives in 1815, I think, is when she first goes to him, and she watches him grow up on this white plantation where they own Black slaves, and she watches different periods of his life and the slaves' lives and how they're treated by his father, and then eventually what happens when he takes over the farm. It was so powerful and so important, and I think that a lot of people should read this book, basically everyone. But I just don't know how to rate it right now. I'm just gonna Cawpile it right now. I can't talk about it with you. So according to Cawpile, I am rating the book a 4.5, which is what I was thinking I was gonna rate it before I Cawpiled it. I just didn't have the words for that, and I still feel like I don't. It was amazing, but sometimes I have a hard time rating 5 stars to books that are that hard to listen to. For instance, beyond just the awful treatment of Black people, verbal, mental, emotional, physical abuse that was given to them, there was also rape and torture and, of course, selling of people. And sometimes that kind of stuff is so hard that it's so important for you to read, but it almost like inhibits you from rating a book 5 stars. I don't know how else to say that. Like, I'm so glad that this book was written, and I'm so glad that it said the things that it needed to say, and I wouldn't change a single thing about it. But it's hard for me to say like, oh, I enjoyed reading that book, 5 out of 5 stars. And I don't think it was supposed to be a book where I finished it and was like, wow, what a great book. I'm really glad I read that. It's more of a book where I'm like, wow, that was a great book, and I'm so glad I read it, but I am going to have a hard time. I'm going to think about it for a while. I'm going to have a hard time not thinking about the stuff that it talked about. Maybe none of this is making sense. Maybe I'm just rambling on about this book, but I think if you are interested in it, that you should definitely pick it up. And I think if you've never heard of it, you should pick it up. It's technically, so on Goodreads, it's described as a science fiction because of the time travel. It was much more like a historical fiction, but I really can't stand historical fiction, and I really enjoyed this. It really doesn't have a genre that it falls into because it's not historical fiction exactly. It's not science fiction exactly. I have to go on to my phone call with my friend in a few minutes, so I'm really glad I finished this up before that. So I guess I'll say goodbye right now, and I'll update you all on anything that happens the rest of today, on the rest of this weekend, on Monday when I do my new vlog. Thank you for watching. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books. I know this has been a really hard week, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me. It's still hard, but things are getting easier every day. Anyways, I don't remember how my outro goes, but until next time, I'll talk to you all in the comments. Bye.